everyone, and welcome back to biology. Today we are continuing with lesson number 13, which is natural selection. Okay, so to kick it off, we are starting with a very important keyword, which is species. You're going to hear me say that a lot today. So a species is a group of closely related living things whose members can mate and produce young for generations. Okay, so that out of the way, if you need to pause the video to make sure you have this down, please make sure you do so. Okay, today we are learning about species and how they came about. So last class you heard me talk about adaptation and how adaptation is important for survival because, of course, survival of the fittest, which is natural selection. Adaptation is a great part of survival. And different species use different types of adaptations to be able to survive. Now, there is a very specific scientist that I'm going to be mentioning today. But first, let me clear off the board. Very well, our very important scientist is Charles Darwin. Now, 3 things to know about Darwin. 1, he is an English scientist. Okay. 2, he was a scientist over 100 years ago. So his work has been around for quite a while now. And 3rd, he conducted his studies traveling around the world, stopping at small islands. So traveling around the world. Now, those are the 3 main things to know about Charles Darwin. He's an English scientist. He was around about 100 years ago, and he conducted his studies traveling around the world, stopping at small islands. Okay? Now, because he did things this way, he was able to discover a lot of adaptations certain species did to be able to survive in these places. For example, he set himself to study one specific bird. It's called a finch. And if you don't know what a finch looks like, let me insert a clip. Now, Darwin, on his travels, stopping at each island, he observed that specific type of bird, which was a finch. In each island he stopped at, he noticed that their beaks were different. And I'll show you in the next clip and explain a little bit about what that looked like.
Alright then, so we start off by seeing a small seed-eating finch. You can see by the form of the beak, it's a little bit curved at the tip. Then we move on into the insect-eating finch. This finch's beak is a little bit more pointy straight. It's not really like curved in any way or anything like that. And I'm assuming that helps him eat insects better. Maybe take them out of the dirt. Then we have the cactus-feeding finch. Obviously, probably what it fed off of was cactus. You can see its beak is a little bigger, more narrow. And then lastly, we have the large seed-eating finch, which has a more wider beak, a little point at the end. It's bigger from the top than it is from the bottom. And these changes or adaptations happen so they can survive off of what food was available to them wherever they were at.
Very well. Now that you've seen those examples, you can see that the finch had to adapt to its environment in order to be able to survive. And in the finch's case, it did so by adjusting its beak, or its beak changing form. Now for your assignment today, I want you to tell me about a species that has adapted throughout time, that has had a change similar to this one, or like the finch did, but in their own way. If you need any help with this assignment, please don't hesitate and ask. With your assignment, you must include the name, so for example, you could choose a bear. Then you're going to give me 3 types because they have adapted. We have the polar bear that adapted to cold temperatures because they live in very cold areas. We have the grizzly bear which is also a bear that is similar to the polar bear, but the grizzly bear has stronger claws to be in the forest, climb trees, and whatnot. Then we also have the panda bear. The panda bear adapted to its environment as well. So, I want you to give me 3 examples like this. That is your assignment for today. If you need any extra help, please don't hesitate and ask. I'm here to help. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.